Well, welcome back. It's about 9:30 in the morning, almost 50 degrees out in the bee yard, and wanted to do a short video on some of the basic supplies that you need, or some of the basic tools that I use. There are other tools and different tools, but I'm kind of simplistic. I go with the basics. But I just wanted to do a quick overview of the things that I use, basically every day in beekeeping. So we've got, the first thing we've got is, our smoker. Got to have your smoker. Puff your bees, let them know when you're coming into the hive. I just use a basic veil. This happens to be a metal veil. I'm not gonna bucket over, but it's got a metal screen around it. It's got the strings, that you can tie the back and the front down. I use that just to keep the bees out of my face if I'm doing something that's really, invasive. A lot of times a veil's not even required if you're not going to be bothering the bees too much. Basic brush, which I don't use very often. I find the brush to be kind of somewhat useless. You can brush bees away with it, but it seems to do more harm than good. I have better luck with my hands or with the smoker. This is a paint pen. This is just a paint pen that I use for marking queens. If I happen to see a queen when I'm in a hive doing an inspection, I always got my paint pen in my back pocket so I can grab a hold of the queen and try and put a little dot on her to make her easier to find in the future. Basic vinyl, rubber gloves, whatever you've got. A lot of times if you're doing any kind of work that requires the use of your fingertips really well, or if you're working with the sugar water, stuff like that, that's really sticky, these come in really handy. I also like to keep with me or keep close by a magnifying glass. I don't know about everybody else, but my eyes aren't the greatest, and when I'm looking for eggs, in my hives and my brood frames, I have a hard time spotting eggs, so I keep a magnifying glass close by. Of course, just standard old grill lighter. Use that for lighting my smoker a lot of times if I don't have a regular lighter. And then the must-have hive tool. It's probably the most used tool out of everything. For prying frames, or for prying apart boxes. Once the bees get things propolized and everything gets stuck together, you really need that hive tool. It's great for crushing hive beetles too. And then just basic set of gloves, to protect your hands if you need that protection. Just a basic pair of vented gloves. The other thing that I keep around, that I use quite a bit, is just buckets. Just a regular old bucket. I use these buckets for my feed. So we got a bee trap down in there, but if I'm mixing up sugar water, I'll use these buckets. I'll reuse them over and over. I've got a cup that I use for measuring, just for measuring my different ingredients that I put in my sugar water. And of course, my stirring spoon. Well, in this case, it's going to be my bee saver spoon. Trying to do this without looking in the bucket and looking at the camera. There we go. Your life has been spared. I keep those things in the bucket, and generally keep the bucket closed because the bees will be all over that bucket. And those are just the basics. Like I said, there are other tools. There are frame lifters, and there are full bee suits, and there are all kinds of other gizmos and gadgets out there on the market. But like I said, I'm kind of simplistic. I think simple and easy is better for me. So that's my basic tool set. Looking forward to a warmer day here. I think the bees are starting to get a little active. A little bit of movement this morning. As the day warms up, they'll be out and about. That's hive that my artistic wife painted for me. One of my favorites. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.